Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming out today to listen to Coca-Cola's journey with AI. We've worked with Coca-Cola for many years. My name is Mike Savage. I work with MarketLogic. We build insights platforms that help our consumer base run an insights-driven business. And I will hand the floor over to Lauren.
Yes, I'm Lauren. I'm on the Knowledge and Insights team for Western Europe, so that's across 12 markets. And since I started in this role, I've been managing our internal sharing platform, which we call S&I Connect, which is, I'll keep referring back to that, so you're all aware. So our journey with MarketLogic started many years ago, and it was with the question, what do we know about stevia? So the question went out to all the K&I directors globally, and some people took up to 2 weeks to come back because it was a case of going out to separate share points and waiting for people to return from holiday. But in Europe, they're actually piloting the platform. And so they got an answer in about 20 minutes. And so from that, it's kind of grown, and there's different modules to the platform. So in Webu, we use the research management module like all the time. It's mandatory. And we've had an ONS library built with North America. So that's all of our TVCs and the ONS scores all available. And then we have knowledge zones and reporting, which have been co-created with MarketLogic as time has gone on. So the reporting is in the exact kind of way it should be to be with our business and our functions and how our departments work and where the reports come from. So it makes sense to everybody in the business. And then we get 2015-16, we roll out to all of our business units globally, and now we all have access. And then last year, we got AI search in there, so it's the cognitive search and social media data. So that really is handy for laying over all of our insights. And then soon we have Eric, who we'll talk a bit more about later. And this is just a bit of a focus of within Webu, what we've been doing. So it's not a simple process because we have to get all of the insights on the platform to be able to make the AI work perfectly. Well, I won't say perfectly. But what we've done is several different things. So we manage all of our research projects through the platform. So from the marketer briefing you all the way up to supplier selection, all of the results go in there. And we've also tried several different engagement tactics. So we did a project with Keen as Mustard, which was presented at SMO last year, so some of you might have seen it, where we tested lots of different creative communications to see which one resonated best with all of our internal stakeholders. So we have about 1,500 people within Webu and about 1.5 seconds of their attention to grab. So we really needed to make the emails stand out, and we need to choose the projects that will be helpful to most different departments. Here's an example of, the winner of our project with Keen as Mustard. So we tested videos, animated videos, interview-style ones, infographics, but the newsletter was the winner. So it actually gets 4 times more daily visitors to S&I Connect. So we're really driving people into the platform, building familiarity, and then they'll get used to, just even simple things like how it works, the view, and then the next time they'll go in and start searching all of our previous knowledge. So these are just some of the numbers of everything that we have in there. So as we said, it's across 17 business units now. We've got over 100,000 documents in there. And this is, in Webu alone, the K&I team have published over 500 ad hoc projects. And then we have all of our link results in there. We have all of our syndicated sources, all of our tracking data. And now social search as well, over 1 million posts. So it's really, the AI really helps us bring all of this together because nobody has the time to search through this many documents. So it comes down to our human brains are not enough. We can't sit and, troll through all of this. So the AI is essential.
So when we talk about artificial intelligence, there's many ways to crack the code. One of the tools that we use is something called entity annotation. So our AI is purposed for marketing and insights professionals understanding the language that you use and the terminology that's out there. So we have built in the platform an understanding of markets, brands, products, seasons, consumers, purchase locations. So our tool is able to build this knowledge graph. So in the top we see that the summer season is associated with the product, sparkling beverages, amongst young users. So we have a consumer group using a product in a season. But much like humans, we will be able to infer things. So when we find out that the beach, now I'm from New Jersey, so I don't really know what the beach is, but I think they're talking about the shore here. So when you're at the shore, that's in the summertime. So the machine is able to make the inference that young adults are drinking sparkling beverages at the shore or this beach. And it's able to do that on its own. So as we were working with Coca-Cola, these entities were helping to make search experiences more robust. So instead of having to be very specific in your search term, it understands the language of basic marketing and insights. But we took it one step further by now doing some supervised learning. So now we sat down with Coke Insights directors across the globe and attempted to understand what's their taxonomy. And what we found was 60 plus different entities that we were able to define. So this would include different types of products, so more specificity on products. What are the benefits that are associated with the product? What are the barriers that are associated with use? We were able to find promotional vehicles. So now we know when people search for polar bears, that's actually a reference to a beloved promotional and advertising campaign persona and not actually a winter beast that will eat you. So now when the system sees the language, it understands, okay, Germany, that's a country, energy drinks are a different type of beverage, mental renewal is a benefit, and that's associated with young adults. So now when you talk about what are the benefits for young adults, you don't just get a search term that just finds the words benefit and young adults. It will find mental renewal. It'll find looking forward to it. It will understand and make that search experience more robust. Really, and the key here is getting to your insights faster. That speed to insight, you don't have to put in different search terms and create these super long strings. The machine will begin to understand your business. Now, Lauren's going to take us through some interesting examples of what they found.
So it's generally, we can bucket these into 3 different types of insights. So we get insights that confirm that what we already know. So when we look to a machine that's generating our insights, we need to build some trust. So this is where we have all of these insights that confirm what we know, they're the fundamentals that our business work on. And then insights that surprise us but make sense. So perhaps you hadn't thought of it, but overall it makes sense and it builds even more trust in the system. And then insights that surprise us but can make us feel a little bit uncomfortable. So examples, we've got millennials are seen as wanting to live near coffee shops. I'm a millennial, I live near a coffee shop. It's not so surprising. And then insights that surprise us but make sense. Consumption of water peaks at 3 a.m. on weekends, perhaps not so surprising. And coconut flavors are associated with breakfast. So this is something for our business that's very important, and connecting all the dots over several different documents. It's very helpful. And then things that can make us feel slightly uncomfortable. So perhaps the insight that wasn't at the top of the executive summary from your agency. Carbonated drinks are useful for house cleaning. So we're not naming any brands here. You might have heard this one before. Doesn't always make us feel so comfortable, but it shows that AI is working and it's pulling together all of these different things that we know about our brands. And we're just going to roll a little video which will show you the platform as a kind of walkthrough.
As one of the world's most beloved brands, Coca-Cola knows that understanding consumers is fundamental for growth. That's why all our research, reporting, and social media data is centrally stored in S&I Connect, the single consumer insight database for our entire enterprise, with over 100,000 searches conducted every year. But as the volume of data increases, we need smarter ways to get instant answers to our questions using the latest AI technology. That's why S&I Connect has introduced Cognitive Search. With Cognitive, S&I Connect understands our industry like a Coca-Cola expert. It knows our brands, our categories, what a promo is, all the key aspects of the business, to deliver faster speed to insights. Ask a question like, what do we know about purchase triggers? The machine automatically understands what a trigger is, so we can hunt for different kinds, like refreshing and natural, without the need to find or learn these particular types of triggers at all. The knowledge graph shows relationships between the results. To drill deeper, click and see that trigger in detail. Now the machine automatically summarizes everything it has found. S&I Connect also understands benefits, barriers, purchase locations, and use occasions, so you can dig deep for swift guidance on important topics of interest. Social media search lets you hear what people are saying. Filter by sentiment, content type, and analytic data, and click to go straight to the source. S&I Connect's Cognitive Search is a step change to help you get the most relevant answers to your business questions.
And lastly, it was what I mentioned that is hopefully to come this year. It's Eric. So this is our new voice-controlled partner. So he's really just there to make things more simple. So a couple of use cases we have is, one, the example here is just a general, what do we know about this area? And he'll pull up different findings. So this could be actual documents, verbatims, social media. He can pull everything in. Or people might ask for the latest volume report, and he can go through all of the reports that we have uploaded on our reporting section. And then we're also rolling it out on mobile. So the perfect example would be you've just come out of a meeting, you want to know more about Fanta in Germany or how teenagers are reacting to influencer campaigns. You can ask Eric, and then he can show you snippets of what we have on there and then send them to your inbox. So by the time you get back to your desk, you can dig deeper into all of the information. We've tried to make it really personal because we don't want to remove the fact that we are the insights team and we have the knowledge. And this is just an ease of access. So if we aren't available or you're traveling, it's just like an easy way to try and get to that knowledge. And he's also going to help with filling in briefs. So you saw earlier we have, I think it's 1,800 research requests. So that's globally, not just in our team, thank God. But they don't all get completed because sometimes the research won't be needed or we already have the answer. So Eric will be there as they're completing the brief to say, oh, we already have this finding, we already have this relevant data. And if you need more questions, he is the expert that works in this field and will refer you to one of us. So that's all that's to come from Eric. I hope you enjoyed listening. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much, both of you. Nice to meet Eric as well. I guess two questions, maybe really. Firstly, not every company is the scale of Coca-Cola. Mm-hmm. I'm ex-Diageo, so we're also rolling out market logic. How would you see that a smaller or medium-sized company could use your platform? Because we're not going to have 20,000 billion research projects.
Sure. So as Lauren mentioned earlier, the way that we launched at Coca-Cola was very modular. So you can pick and choose what modules you need and which modules you don't need. So, you know, in many cases, a process-based module may be appropriate for a large organization like Coke that's running 1,800 research studies a year. You may not need that. Not including that drastically reduces the cost. Not to mention the fact that it's a subscription model, so fewer people, lower price, more people, more price. I mean, so there's ways that we can tailor. Yes, we have Coca-Cola as a customer, but I also have companies that have less than $1 billion in revenue as customers as well. So it does scale.
Really simple question. So, is all those reports, are they being manually? Is there some poor soul uploading all of those? Is it automated? Right.
I don't upload all of them, but there is a poor soul that has to manage the platform. But thankfully, the S&I team are all on board, so I have, everyone's in charge of their own reports, and so it's really a team effort. And yeah, when we've spoke before, I've emphasized the fact that it is a team effort to keep this going.
So there's the researchers that work with them on the projects help build the project record. Yes, you publish. She actually hits the publish button, but a lot of the work is done behind the scenes by the vendor community to make sure that the project is completed. And the idea is that the knowledge management area is, a full circle. There's a way to make sure it doesn't get dusty and stuff gets in rather easily.
So would
Yes.
you say this is a great example of a data lake? Is it kind of what we're talking about?
So,
Just before you go,
sure.
is there a way of sourcing how all that data is?
Sure. So with regards to a data lake, a data lake in general usually talks more about structured data. While we do have structured data in here, our platform has API layers that can bring that in. We know we're not going to replace a data lake. We want to be that one source where you go in to get that information. So you saw on the chart with all the numbers on it, we had secondary sources and social media tied in. Those are done through other engagements, but there's a pathway into our system. So it can come in, but we're not replacing data lakes.
And age-wise,
Age-wise, you can set rules and parameters to say, okay, data ages out after, it may not be, it'll be hidden because you don't want it to ever be gone because that's your repository, but you can it can be filtered out so it doesn't show up in search results.
Do you measure the efficiency uplift that this was presumably going to give you as an insights department?
Not internally. We spoke about this yesterday, was it? So that market logic can get there eventually. We don't do anything specifically at the moment.
Don't measure the return on investment on market logic, for example.
So when we talk about how we add value currently, it's more around cost avoidance. So when they had 1,800 research requests, they didn't conduct 1,800 pieces of research. So they might have done 1,500. So there were 300 projects that were either scrapped or reassigned. So you run into very dangerous territory, especially in this room, if we say, hey, we can help you cut your budgets by 20%. What I'd rather say is we've found norms across our customer base, including Coke in the US, that have found that they're able to determine 15 to 20% of their spend as being wasteful. And if identified, it could then be repurposed to more innovative or incremental research. Does that answer your question?
Sort of. So rather than spending the money on, for example, the European Union, they could give it to the NHS.
Yeah, well, so in one of our installations, when we were implementing, we found 4 different concept tests on coffee-flavored gum. They were done about 24 months apart, pretty much on cycle with how they turn over their ABMs. They all failed in the same way, and there was nothing incremental about them. So you could say that 3 of those were just a total waste because you didn't know what you knew. Now, what you could do with that money on the 5th one, maybe you could finally crack the code to find, is there a way to have an energizing gum that you can be successful with?
Question in the middle somewhere? Dropped off, but it's back. I'm back. I'm here. James Richard from the IMA. When we talk to client-side insight teams in all sorts of areas and all sorts of sectors, the common learning seems to be that you can invest in whatever you like in terms of knowledge-sharing platforms, but trying to get people to use them is more than half the battle. It would appear that you're there. Can you say anything about what sort of internal communications you had to learn, or what sort of colleague engagement process you have to go through, first to get your inside people to buy into the concept, and then to get everybody else in the organisation to deliver?
I would say that we're still on a journey to get everyone to use it. So we've increased our users, I think by around 80 people on. So it started around 130 and peaked when we started sending out the newsletters. Internally within my team, we tried to play nice, and then we just had to make the research management part mandatory. So, it took a little while for the team to get used to it, and I wasn't everybody's favorite person. But now we have, all of our insights in one place. People can manage all of their projects very simply. So I'm sure some of them would thank me in the end. But yeah, it's just it's not an easy process.
What levers did you try before you went down the mandatory routes?
Kids and cakes.
So I sent out kind of like helpful snippets of this is what the platform can do for you. So here's an example of someone's asked me about this brand and this test. I've searched, these are all the results. And then I sent like a kind of engagement just to the team of handy things that the platform can do. So you can just copy and paste projects. You can, I can't remember some of them now, very small things, but things that would just help bit by bit, that if people got used to using it.
But you concluded in the end that people stick around hard.
Yeah, I mean, most of the team were on board at that point, but there's always a few that we, And also, it does help in that all of, the end goal is what we wanted, everything to be in the same place, and now we're using it for auditing purposes. So the results have to be in there before we can pay agencies. And we have, all of our budgets in there. We can download the research calendar and see what everybody's doing. So there was multiple reasons why we made it mandatory.
I've always found 3 or 4 public executions worth one.
Yeah.
So would it slow down payments? So the finance procurement department probably be quite interested. Sort of
Yeah.
As a small business owner as I am, it's amazing how long it takes to pay, and how some of our biggest clients go from, the luxury will be 30 days,
Yeah.
it's 60 days, then it's 90 days, and then it's, can you send it by physical mail to this place in Poland?
Mm-hmm.
This is the address, and then it gets returned because it doesn't get delivered, but there's no time. It's like,
Yeah.
to hear another layer is like,
Well-
really, thank you for that.
Well, we've just started this process, and because vendors have access in the research management,
Okay.
so when the project is kicked
Okay.
off, you'll receive an email with, it's here, and then
So we
this
can't
is,
control it.
and so as soon as you upload those results, then you're in the position.
That's really